Good morning. Hello, everyone. I'm just waiting. Let everybody find this on their feed or on YouTube. So anxious to get started. I hope you're having a great day. If you'd like to say hello and let us know where you're watching from, that would be great. Good morning. Hello. Okay. Good morning, everyone, and welcome. I'm Lisa Brown with Ink and Inspirations, coming to you live on my Facebook page, Ink and Inspirations with Lisa Brown, or you may be watching me on YouTube, on my YouTube channel, Lisa Brown Ink. So welcome. We're going to make a couple of projects today, and I'm anxious to get started. Hi, Karen. Good morning. Good morning, everyone. Okay, so first of all, just want to take care of a couple of things. The new annual catalog is live, and I'm having a lot of fun creating with that. So if you do not have a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator and would like for me to send you a catalog, please let me know. You can put it in the comments section or email me at lisa@inkandinspirations.com. Good morning, Joanne. How are you? Anyway, so let's see. New catalog is launched, and also I'm having, you'll see down on the banner here below, I'm having a mystery reward event, and this time for each order of $25 or more, for each $25 in order before shipping and tax in my online store, by the end of the day on Monday, May 20th, I'm going to conduct a drawing on Tuesday for someone to choose a stamp set of their choice. So anyway, just keep that in mind, and be sure if you place an order to use that host code that's up there on the screen. And let me get that for you. Okay. All right, we're going to get started here. Today I am using the You Are Beautiful stamp set from the new Stampin' Up! Catalog. And I am going to show you that in the catalog. It's on page 92, right here. And I just love this verse from Proverbs. That's what drew me to this set, first of all. And it was on my very first order that I placed from the catalog. And it's got some beautiful sentiments and a beautiful font and just some simple sprigs of greenery and one with the little berries just to accent as you need it to. And I just love it. So it's on page 93 with Stampin' Up's exclusive and copyrighted artwork. So for the designer paper, I decided to use this Wildly Flowering Designer Series paper. It's on page 41 of the annual catalog, and it's got some of our muted colors in it. A couple of our colors from last year's In Color collection, Moody Mauve and Wild Wheat, with some Misty Moonlight and Mossy Meadow thrown in. It makes just a really, really pretty combination of colors for that designer paper. Okay, let's get started. So, welcome, welcome. If you're just coming in, thank you for being here. All right, so we're going to make just a simple fun fold card today. This is the card we're making first, and then we'll make another project when we're through with that. So for your card base, we're going to start out with 7 3/4 by 5 and scored at 2 1/4 and 6. Okay, so let me see. I'm going to go ahead. I've already scored it, but I want to show you. So here it's scored at 2 1/4 and at 6. Okay. All right, that's 7 3/4 by 5. Just a simple fold, but you know, anytime you do a fun fold that's a little different or folded differently than just a standard size card, it just makes it fun and interesting. So I'm going to give it a good crease on my bone fold with my bone folder. And there we have, that's the base. It's going to have a backing, but we're going to work with this part of our card first, okay? So let's go ahead and put our designer paper on. So I've chosen these two pieces, this both from Wildly Flowering, and I'm going to see if I can get full screen there. Okay, and if it starts jumping back and forth like it's done before, I'll switch it back. Okay, all right. So I have a piece that's 4 3/4 by 2. Okay, and it has some floral images, and it has this greenery that's mossy meadow. So that's the color I'm going to use on my green sprig here. Okay, and then a crumb cake like linen pattern. It almost looks like fabric. It's so pretty. 4 3/4 by 1 1/2. And so I'm going to go ahead and glue those on. We'll put our little Post-its over here. So we are in Southeast Texas currently for the next few days. This is the time of year that our granddaughters are in dance recitals. So we help with that, and Mia, our granddaughter here in the Beaumont area, she takes dance from the dance studio where both of our daughters took dance. So that's kind of fun. Some of the same teachers are there, same people. It's a lot of fun. And we enjoy seeing those again. So that's what we're busy doing in the evening, which is why I've moved my live here to the morning for this Thursday. Okay, so you see I have both of those done, okay? And that is on our, again, our Moody Mauve base. Now, for the stamped images, I decided to choose a label from, this is the Nested Essentials label size, and I use this smallest one here, okay? A very unique shape, just fun to use, and I've already die cut that from Basic White. And let me see, I'm going to get my Stampin' Pierce mat. Since we're using the cling stamp, okay? I'm getting ahead of myself. We're using the cling stamp, and normally you would use this with photopolymer, but my table here is a little wavy. It's not the best table, but it works, and if I use a pad underneath it, it works just fine. So if you find that your work surface might have a little dip or groove in it or some imperfections, just use a Stampin' Pierce mat underneath while you're stamping. Okay, I'm using Moody Mauve here, and this sentiment on the outside is going to say, "Make today amazing." So we're going to ink that up, and let's test it. Okay, so let me try it again. Make sure all of the script is inked up, and then I'm just going to line that up there and stamp. Okay, all right. So let's see, I'm going to go ahead and close my ink pad for now, and we're going to do the stamping with the big sprig. So I'm going to use a piece of scrap Basic White cardstock. I keep in a little drawer here next to my work surface, or on my work surface, I should say. And I'm going to ink this up in Mossy Meadow. So this is a very simply stamped card, which I've really enjoyed using this set because it is simple, okay? But it's just beautiful with beautiful messages. And I want to show you that when you ink up this stamp, it's one of our, what is the name of this called? Karen, help me out. It doesn't stamp evenly because it's got the variations in the etchings of the stamp. Okay, so let me go ahead and I'm going to just try that again and see what the second generation stamp looks like. I think I'm going to go ahead and do it dark. Okay. Ink this up again. And Mossy Meadow's a pretty dark ink. but I want to see what it's like full strength. You know what? We could always stamp again. So we have that, okay? And then let's try it again. Okay, so it's much lighter. Yes, Joanne, I sure will. You're welcome. Okay, so we're going to use the darker one. This would be pretty. And like I'll probably cut this one out too and use it for another project. But we're going to fussy cut this. All right. Tie this up. And so when you're fussy cutting an image, it's best to get all of the excess paper out of the way. Okay? So I'm cutting around this, and then we're going to cut it out. And I'm going to save that little baby and use it again on another project. So let's see. So I'm leaving just a scant white border around the edge of the leaves, of each leaf. And I'm not going all the way down to the stem because I don't want that to be too narrow there, okay? It just makes it a little sturdier when you go to put it on a project, and easier when you're putting your adhesive on. All right. Joanne, I may just do a video of that using those adhesive sheets. Okay. But yes, I will explain that. It's going to be easier to show you than just to type it out. So a video might be coming very soon with that. All right, so again, leaving a little scant white image all the way around. Okay, on this one, I'm not going to cut into that because I think it would be too narrow there. So it's okay if you leave some white spacing. I mean, I could, and I think I might have cut in on the other one, but I just don't want any of these leaves to be too delicate there toward the stem and get torn off. So this doesn't take as long as you think. I was going to already have it cut for you, but sometimes it's okay to see the process in it so that you can see that it's not difficult at all. Okay, Joanne. All right, so there is that image there. So now I'm going to get our card base that we already folded, and okay, this is going to go here. Again, I'm going to play with it so that I can decide on placement. So on my original card, I anticipated putting this sprig on this right side. So I moved the stamping over a little more, but I can see on this one, it's going to be okay. And I'll show you a little bit the difference once we get finished here. So depending on where you stamp this is going to determine placement, because you don't want to cover your words with your image there. Okay. So I'm going to play like that. And I think that's going to be good. So you can see how it's a very simple card. Okay, so another thing I want to point out is this actually is a little off center, okay, because I'm going to have this to balance out that middle part of the card, okay? So I could probably move this over a little bit more and have a little bit more room. So before you glue anything down, take your pieces and look at them and how you're wanting them to go on the project. Okay. So I'm going to come a little bit over with this. So I had it like I liked it, and then I moved it. Okay, I'll move that over a little bit more. So that's the key there on this one, is to move it over a little more to the left if you're going to use this sprig on the right. So I see about how much room I have over here. And when I put adhesive on the back of this, you want to make sure and just put it at the top because you don't want to glue your project closed. So let's take some adhesive. And I do that. I'm telling myself that so I don't get crazy with my adhesive while I'm talking. Okay. So I'm going to come like this. I see my space left over here. Okay. And so now we're going to take this sprig, put it right here. And let's go ahead and put our adhesive on here. Try not to get it too close to the edge so it doesn't squish out. Okay. And you know what? I was talking and I don't need adhesive at the bottom, right? See what happens when I'm talking and trying to do this at the same time? Okay. So I'm going to very carefully, once that dries, I'll take an adhesive remover and get that off, but we don't want to shut this closed with our sprig either, right? So we just need the adhesive up at the top. Okay. So that might be a little tacky after it dries, but I can come back with my adhesive remover, or I can take my embossing buddy. Also works. Any kind of little powder. Okay. So this is the embossing buddy we usually use with embossing. I'm going to go ahead and tap that there to take that stickiness off. Okay, because I had a little bit of glue down there and I don't want it to glue shut. Okay. All right. Okay, so now we're going to put some thread on here. And it's disappeared, of course. No, here it is. All right, so this is jute twine that comes in a pack of 5. And it is all of our in colors from last year, okay? So I'm going to take, this is Moody Mauve, and I'm going to cut off about 5 to 6 inches of it, okay? So let me just get a cut here. And so as it is, this is a pretty thick twine, right? I want it to be a little daintier, not as heavy, okay? So what I'm going to do, and I just took my bone folder and just ran it across here to try to get some of the curlicues out. So see, I went against the curls and I pulled it, okay? So now it's a little straighter, and I'm going to pull apart these fibers right here. And so you have all of this you can use, and it's not as thick, and it makes for a lighter bow where it's not as bulky when you tie. Okay, so on this, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to make some loops, and it doesn't have to be even. Okay, it's like a bow, but I'm not tying a knot in the middle. Okay, so then I'm going to take this piece and tie it around the center. And the fibers are spreading apart, but I like that, okay? It's going to give it lots of texture and fun. So let me see if I've got this. Okay, see, I'm tying that bow, so to speak, together. And so I'm going to spread these fibers out a little bit. And every time I do this, it turns out different. You'll see the one on the other card. It looks a little different. So I'm separating these fibers a little bit. And I'm also going to do that on the loops. Just a little. So it made like a bow, but it doesn't have to. Okay, you can just have some loops in there. And I'm going to trim off this excess. I'm still playing with it. I got little fibers everywhere. And I'm going to glue that, or use a glue dot right there, okay? So that when we fold our card up, hey Patty, when we fold our card up, it won't be as bulky like if we're going to put it through the mail. So I'm going to take a glue dot and put it right behind the knot. Pull that up and then put it right here on that sprig. Okay, and if it extends a little bit beyond the card, it's okay, because this one, it's not going to wrinkle or anything when you put it in the envelope to send it. Okay, so there we have that. Then I wanted a little bit more of embellishment, so I took my trusty, ever-ready basic rhinestones, and I have my dark Moody Mauve Stampin' blends. And I'm going to color 2 of these mid-size rhinestones right here. So I'm just going to take this, color over it, and we instantly have Moody Mauve rhinestones. Okay, let's see if I can find my take your pick. And on this one, I'm just going to use 2 because I'm using them center top and center bottom of this label, kind of right underneath where the point is. Okay, so now there's the bulk, the main part of our card. Okay, this one I could put a little higher. I think I might have used the smaller rhinestones on the first card. No, it's okay. Okay. All right. So now let's finish and put the base. Okay. What's going to hold our fun fold to mail it. So first, when I was going through this, I thought, okay, I'm going to use crumb cake. Okay. And it was just a little bland for me. So what I did is I cut a piece of 5 1/4 by 4 Mossy Meadow, and watch this difference that it makes. So this is 5 1/2 by 4 1/4, like the front of a standard size card. And then this is going to go here. And now watch. Bam. See how that makes such a difference? I think it makes a big difference. Okay, just brings out the Mossy Meadow, and it adds a little more color to our card. All right, so we've got that centered now. Now we're going to put this and put glue on the back. Thanks, Patty. We're going to put glue on the back of this folded card that we made, the main part of our card, and we're going to center that on the Mossy Meadow. So there is the completed card, but let's do the inside, okay? So I cut a 4 3/4 by 3 1/2 inch piece of basic white, and we are going to stamp on this. So what I did for my sample is I took, this was Mossy Meadow, remember? So I'm going to blow on it. So your breath moistens that ink again a little bit. Now it's been a while, so we're going to see how this works, and I'm going to stamp it right here. You see how you get that muted image? Okay, pretty cool, huh? Then I'm going to take the sentiment, "You are a shining light," and I'm going to show you how I line this up. I need some more straight lines here. So I line up my block on something that's straight. So I have this old grid sheet here, and then I take my stamp and I look at how this is written. So this is written straight across, okay? All right, so it's straight across. So I'm looking at the lines through my block, and I line up as best as I can on that line that I see through there, keeping this as straight as I can. Now, not all of our sentiments are straight. They can be, crazy sentiments written and fun. This is pretty straight going across, okay? And so then when I stamp it, even though it might not look straight when I turn it over because of maybe how I put the label on or just the nature of the beast, okay? Thank you, Desiree. Or Desiree, how do you pronounce that? Okay, and then, so now I'm going to stamp. So I'm going to line up my card here, my cardstock, and then I want to get this as straight as I can, and then I'm going to stamp it. Okay. Okay, this is Moody Mauve. Let's see. I want it up toward the top, so I'm lining up my block with the lines on the grid sheet. I see it over there on the edge, and bam. Okay. All right. Let's get that over here. Let's close this up. And let's go ahead and put this on the inside. And then we'll be done with our first project. Put that in the center. And there we have our first card. What'd you think? Isn't that pretty? I thought, simple, just a simply stamped card. Here's the first one. Okay. All right. So beautiful stamp set with those sentiments, and the font is amazing. Just like this says, make it today amazing. So anyway, that's a fun card, a fun fold. Desiree. Yeah. Oh, you're welcome. I have twin cousins, girls, and one of them is Desiree, like your name is spelled, and the other one is Desiree with an AE at the end. And so when we were younger, we called the one EE Desiree, and and then so, but actually they went by their middle names, but now I think they both pronounce it Desiree. Oh, great. I'm glad I surprised you. Yeah, it's a beautiful name. Okay. All right. First project done. Next, we're going to make a bag. Now, I decided to make a bag because my daughter needed one for a recital gift. Okay. So I haven't made it. I don't even have a sample to show you. I know what I'm doing, usually. And I'm using that same wildly flowering paper. I just know the design I'm using, and I've already scored it. Okay. So this is a blue background print. And from that wildly flowering. But you see it has the same colors. It has the Misty Moonlight, Moody Mauve, Mossy Meadow. It has Early Espresso and Crumb Cake, okay, in it, okay, and wild wheat. There's little hints of wild wheat in here too. So here are the dimensions. It's cut 12 by 8. 12 is what you want going this way for your bag to fold around. And 8 is the height. Okay, so when you're cutting, you want to make sure, okay, this is what my bag's going to look like when I fold it around. And make sure if your paper or your pattern has a direction, you're cutting it the right way. That's why I put the little arrows here. 12 this way, 8, this is the tall, how tall your bag's going to be, okay? So I scored it at 2, 5 3/4, 7 3/4 right here, and 11 1/2, okay? And then I turned it for what is going to be my bag bottom, and this is important too. So you don't want to score what if you're, you've got little kids or animals, you want them to be right side up. So the bottom needs to be scored at 2. All right. All right, so let's go ahead and burnish on these score lines. So I needed a bag big enough to hold a box like this. And it's a pretty tight fit, okay? But that's what I was hoping for. And I knew it was going to be about 2 inches in width. So I thought, oh, that'll do. But it's a little squeeze, but it works. Okay, so I'm burnishing all of my score lines. Makes them easier to see, for one, when you start trimming, but also helps your project go together so much more nicely. Okay, here's this little the 11.5 inch score. So let me pull that down. Let me take this off. If you're just joining me, I talked about I'm having a mystery drawing next Tuesday. So any order placed $25 or more is going to get an entry or entries into a drawing for a free stamp set of your choice. Okay. You just have to be sure you use that host code that's up there on the screen. All right. Okay. So I've got it all scored and burnished. So I want to see this 11.5 inch score over here. I'm going to cut off this little rectangle at the bottom. That's going to make the tab to put our bag together. Okay, now we're going to cut up on all of these other intersecting score lines. Okay. All right, so now we have all these tabs, but first we want to put our sides together. We're going to form our bag. So we need adhesive on the right side of this little 1-inch tab here, and I'm going to go ahead and use liquid glue. Okay, so I'm making sure my edges, the fold of that 11.5 inch score, and the edge of the paper match up. Okay, so there is the bulk of our bag. So now we have all of our tabs at the bottom. This is where my seam is. Okay, so I want all my seams to be facing the same way. First, I'm going to push in the 2 side tabs. Okay, then I'm going to fold in the back, which is right here. I'm calling this the back. You see the seam there? And then fold this over so that when I look, the front just has folds and no seams. All the seams are at the back. Okay. And we're going to use some glue. Now, if this were having a heavier gift inside, I would use tear and tape just to hold that bag. And I also might put like a 1 3/4 by 1 let's see how wide this is. Oops, sorry. Okay, it's about a 4-inch bag. So 3 3/4 to piece of cardstock down there just to reinforce the base, but I'm not going to need that with this little bracelet. So, okay, so there's our bag. And then I'm going to go ahead and put this in, show you how it just fits perfectly. And I'm going to pinch in these sides and just make kind of like a gusset up here at the top. It's not gusseted all the way down. I guess that's what you call that. Okay. And just push your fingers in here, and that makes a really pretty closure up there at the top. Okay. Then I'm going to take a hole punch. I'm using an old crocodile here. And I'm just going to punch 2 holes up here at the top. I think that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going about an inch from each edge and about a ½ inch in. So I'm going to come over and move over about an inch from the edge here. And I'm just eyeballing it, y'all. Good enough. Okay. So there's our holes. And so we'll put that together. Let me see. Where is my... So this time, let's leave... I'm going to pull out some more of this jute. Let me see if I can straighten this, take these curly keys out. Pretty good, huh? Okay. All right. So now I'm going to cut this. It's pretty long. It's probably about 16 inches long, maybe a little longer. And here is the back of my bag. So I'm going to come through, and I see my holes there aren't quite centered, but it's okay. I don't worry about that. Once you get the bow on, thread this through, and then we're going to make a little tag to put on here. Okay, so let's tie it. And I'm going to tie it in a bow. And then I'm going to work on the ends a little bit. So now, once I get it tied tightly, then I start working with the tails. Okay, so here again, I'm going to take this and try to... Okay, I'm going to leave those long like that. I think it's cute. All right. So now we're going to work on our tag. So this tag label, you can see it's got little stitches around, faux stitching around the edge. It's also from this Nested Essentials dies set. Okay, so it's the largest tag. Let me get my... Here we go. We're going to do some stamping. So I debated on whether or not am I going to punch a hole in it and, you know, tie it to this. But I think what I'm going to do, thank you, Karen, okay, is just glue it to this so that when it's opened, the tag stays. Okay. So I think I'm just going to glue the top edge once we get done. And I have a little embellishment here I'm putting up there. So that'll determine how far down I go with it. So now let's get to it. I have this little stamp here that is the other little sprig that's in the stamp set. You Are Beautiful. So it's got some little berries on it. So I wanted to have Mossy Meadow. And then I should put... I'm going to use Misty Moonlight, okay? Because those are the markers I have here in Texas. I don't have a Moody marker. Now, these are Stampin' Right markers, different than our Stampin' Blends. These are alcohol-based for coloring when you stamp with a water-based ink like Tuxedo Memento Black. And then these are water-based markers called our Stampin' Right markers that come in all of our core colors and the in colors. You can buy them in the set of like the different color families, Regals, Brights, Subtles, Neutrals, and the in colors for both years. Or you can buy, I believe, the full set. Okay. And so we have a brush tip end and a fine point end. Now these are not the new markers. We have new markers that have a much nicer bullet point in. If I had one here, I would show you. Let me see. I think I did. So this is the new style marker. You see that bullet point there versus this one. These are the old style. Okay, so this one's much nicer. I just didn't replace, I replaced all of the markers in Missouri, but not all the ones in Texas. So anyway, um, that this is in Lemon Lolly, and then the brush tip, okay, is nice. So, but these are still going to work. I'm just using the brush tip for this particular stamp, and I am going to take the brush tip of the Mossy Meadow and brush it on. Use the side of your brush tip to color so that you don't mash that point. Well, hello. And now I don't know that I'm even going to try to pronounce your name. Inaki. Thank you for watching from the Netherlands. Welcome. Okay. So I'm coloring this. All right. And then I'm going to go down here and color this stem. But you don't use the point so that you don't ruin that point, because you might need that. Okay. So there it is in Mossy Meadow. Then I'm taking my Misty Moonlight brush tip and I'm going to do the berries. So this is the great way you can use Stampin' Right markers, not the blends, the Stampin' Right markers, these narrow ones, when you want multiple colors on one stamp before you stamp it. Okay. So what I'm going to do here is on this, I am going to do a lighter image than what this would be if I stamped it off first generation stamp. Okay. And it's not too dark. I may change my mind. Let me see what this light one is. I think I'm going to go ahead and do it first generation. So I'm going to recolor. Now, see, it's still got ink on it, and I could blow on it, and it would re-moisten the ink, and then, you know, I could use that lighter stamped image, but I think I want it a little bolder. Yes, it's gorgeous. It is so pretty. Yeah, I love it. All right, so now I'm going to take this and I'm going to stamp it down here in the corner. So I'm trying to get the stem like coming down here where the point is. Oh, pretty. Okay, I like that. So now this is going to say, "You are my shining light." So what I've decided to do here is I'm using you are a shining light, I should say. That's what it says. All right, I'm taking Moody Mauve and I'm going to ink this, okay? And I can't decide. I know I'm going to glue it on. So I'm going to come down. I'm going to angle it this time, okay? I like it, okay? Just a little different when you angle it. And then I'm going to take a scrap piece of basic white, and I'm going to stamp this again. I'm going to do it full strength. When you stamp full strength, it can be called first generation stamping. That means you've inked the stamp and you stamp it, and that's what you're using on your project. Second generation would be if I ink the stamp it off on a piece of scratch paper, and then stamp it on the project. That's second generation, because you're using the second generation, so to speak, of ink. Okay. All right. Sometimes I know as card makers and stampers, we use all these terms, and not everyone is familiar with all of the terms. So I try to explain, not speak a different lingo here. Okay, so now I'm going to fussy cut this baby out. All right. Again, I'm leaving just a scant border of the basic white around the image. So I'm going to come down here close to the berries, then come around. So you see how I used just this little bit of scrap of basic white, and it was plenty enough room. So I keep all these little basic white pieces and put them in this drawer on my table where I stamp. All right, and so I'm going to glue that one right there. Okay, so it's going to extend beyond the top. Okay. Let's see now, folks. Yeah, I think I'm going to glue that about right there. Okay. So let's see. I'm trying to decide if I need any bling on it. And because I know the person it's going to, I'm definitely putting some bling. All right, so let's go ahead and do our marker, our Stampin' Blends alcohol markers on our rhinestones again. What you say? All right, so I'm going to do 3. I think I'm going to do 3 down here. Oh, would that be too much? 2 down here and 1 up here. I don't want to overwhelm it. Okay, so I'm going to do 3. I'm going to do 1 of them each size. Okay. So usually when I do 1 of each size, I put the large one and the small one together, and then the mid-size one off by itself. I don't know why. It's just the way I've always done it. It's kind of balances it out a little bit, maybe. Okay, let's do this. Okay, big, and then the tiny, and then the mid-size. Okay. Yeah, Desiree. That, I'm telling you, when you need just the right color and you don't have the embellishments with that color, I always do that. I love it. Because got to have those Stampin' Blends, right? In all the colors. Okay, there's a little... I don't know if I want that caved in like that. Okay, so I'm going to do this. Push that back out. Tie it again. Now, here we go again. That's okay. It won't take long this time. Let's just get these loops pulled down. Okay, so I don't want that pushed in. So I'm going to glue that down, y'all. I'm going to glue, I want the tag, I don't want to bend the tag to glue it. I'm just going to glue the top. Okay. Okay, hold that. Okay, I'm going to hold it for a minute. Okay. Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Yes, the thumbs up does help. And if you're not subscribed to my YouTube channel, please subscribe and click the bell so you'll get notification of videos. So while that's drying, I'm going to show you some other cards that I've made and shared this week with with the You Are Beautiful stamp set. So, you probably, if you've followed me, you've probably seen these, but maybe not. So here's one. I took the Full of Life Designer Series paper, so colorful, and just simply stamp the You Are a Shining Light, because that reminds me of rays, like from the sun. Use some stitched Stylish Labels dies there to back it. And then after I put these here and it was just plain, I thought, I'm going to put a rhinestone on each one of those white rays going out. Okay, so made it really different and really fun. Okay, there's one. And I don't think you've seen this one yet. This one I'll be posting on my blog. I believe it's on Saturday. But it's got, uses that Pretty in Pink, just simply stamped the verse and used some pearls there around it, combined my designer papers, ribbon, and bam, you have a pretty card. Okay. And then here's this one that I did a short video on this week with the same verse. Very simple stamping. I use the Radiating Stitches dies on that for this back and the heart. And this paper is the paper with the little ducks on it, the Lily Pond Lane. I just used the side that I thought would look pretty with it. Okay, so here's our bag. And let's get our other cards that we made. What did I do with them? Right here. Okay, so this all are made with the You Are Beautiful stamp set from Stampin' Up! In the new annual catalog. Like, you know, it's easy to overlook because it's very simple, but man, it's powerful and packs a punch. When you create and use the right colors, just use our designer paper and make a pretty background, and you have a work of art. Oh yes, you'll have to watch. It's simple to put together. Okay. All right, let me come back on here for a minute, see if I can see you. Okay, so if you have any questions, let me know. Be sure, like I said, you're subscribed to my YouTube channel. Or also, if you're on Facebook, go to Ink and Inspirations with Lisa Brown and give me a follow there. If you are not on my mailing list, you need to be, because I send out exclusive project ideas and keep you up with all the latest, okay, from Stampin' Up! So you also get a free online card class when you sign up. So there is the link there. You can take a screenshot of it and go sign up now. So thank you so much for joining me. I hope you enjoy these projects and you will try to recreate these on your own. This is Lisa Brown with Ink and Inspirations, inspiring you to create, share, and make a difference. Have a great day. Take care. Bye-bye.